Hey everyone! Welcome back to Rat Hire Coins. Now imagine this: you're going through your change jar, pulling out penny after penny. You see a bunch of 2020s, 2010s, nothing exciting. Then bam! There it is, a 1969 D penny. Now you're thinking, could this little penny actually be worth millions? Well, hold on to your seats, because today we're diving into one of the coolest stories in coin collecting, the 1969 D Lincoln cent with a value that could blow your mind. Yep, one sold for nearly $2 million, folks. Imagine what you could buy with that. So, let's get into what makes this penny so valuable, what to look for, and how you can start eyeballing your pocket change for hidden treasure. Alright, so here's the deal with this infamous 1969 D penny. First, let's decode what makes this little guy tick. Most of these pennies, minted in Denver in 1969, are worth, well, a penny. Not much. And it's but a few of these babies have something special that makes collectors go bananas. It's a double die. Double die sounds a little like a video game term, but all it means is that the die used to stamp the coin had a slight duplication error. The design got imprinted twice, just a little off-kilter, creating a distinctive, double, look on the date and the word Liberty. And when I say distinctive, I mean even a 3-year-old could spot it. And here's where things get interesting. Because this error wasn't caught right away, a handful of these double-stamped pennies slipped into circulation, and now they're worth, well, a ton. Now, why are people shelling out millions for this? Coin collectors absolutely love rare finds, and in the world of US coinage, double dies are like gold mines. These types of mistakes just don't happen often, so when they do, people are willing to pay top dollar. And hey, I've actually got a funny story here. About 6 months ago, I thought I'd hit the jackpot with an old coin. I found a penny with a weird smudge and thought, jackpot! I was already imagining the beach house I'd buy. Spoiler alert, turns out, it was just a bit of old gum. Yeah, not exactly $1 million. So, if you've got a penny collection or a jar of change, here's what you're hunting for: a 1969 D penny with a double die. That's a penny with a D mint mark, for Denver, and that really clear double image on 1969 and Liberty. And hey, it doesn't hurt to have a magnifying glass. Even a cheap one will do the trick. Because trust me, the last thing you want to do is miss something this valuable just because you didn't check closely. Now, let's talk moolah. So how did this little copper coin make it to the big leagues? Well, a few years ago, one of these rare 1969 D pennies in great condition hit the auction block and sold for nearly $2 million. Let me repeat that. Someone paid $2 million for a penny. That's one seriously expensive piece of copper. To put it in perspective, that's enough for a couple of Lamborghinis, a down payment on a mansion, or, I don't know, a lifetime supply of pizza? So, there you have it, friends. The next time you see a 1969 penny with a D mint mark, take a closer look. It could be worth a lot more than you think, maybe even enough to make you a millionaire. But hey, before you dive into your change jar, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got a whole series lined up to help you discover more hidden gems in your loose change. And trust me, you don't want to miss our upcoming tips on other valuable coins that could be lying around in your pocket. Well, before you toss it in a tip jar or leave it at the bottom of your purse, you might want to take a closer look. What if I told you a regular-looking 1971 penny could be worth? Dramatic pause, $1.8 million? Yeah, that's right. $1.8 million for a penny. Makes you want to dig through every couch cushion you've ever sat on, right? We're diving into the incredible world of coin collecting, and I'm going to show you exactly what to look for in a 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny. This could be one of the most valuable pennies out there, and who knows, you might be carrying one around right now. So, let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about what makes this penny so unique. Now, a lot of pennies have a little mint mark under the date, like D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But if you have a 1971 penny without a mint mark, you might be in for a treat. You see, pennies from that year that were minted in Philadelphia usually don't have any mark, but there's something special about the ones that don't. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. Some of these no-mint 1971 pennies have some unique errors, and that's where the big bucks come in. Errors? On a penny? Yep, and I'm not talking about dropping it in the vending machine change slot. This could be things like a double die error, where the text and details on the penny are doubled slightly because of a minting mishap. So, if you're looking for that double die error, get out a magnifying glass and inspect your penny, especially around Liberty and the date. If it looks like someone with poor eyesight stamped it twice, then congrats, you might just be holding on to some serious cash. Now, here's where I had a bit of a reality check. You see, I actually found a 1971 penny in my own jar of change. I was psyched. I started telling everyone that I was going to be a millionaire. I mean, this thing was going to change my life. I even called my mom to break the news. She wasn't buying it. I got out my magnifying glass, did my best Sherlock Holmes impersonation, and turns out, it was just a regular penny. Yeah, reality hit hard. But hey, not every 1971 penny is going to be worth a fortune, but if you don't check, you'll never know. Okay, so if you have a 1971 penny, especially one that's in amazing condition, take a close look at it. Some of these coins can sell for a few bucks, while the rare ones with unique errors have gone for crazy prices, up to $1.8 million in some cases. That's life-changing money for a piece of copper that you probably almost left in a tip jar. So, here's the bottom line, folks. Coin collecting can be a pretty cool hobby, especially when you learn that everyday coins in your pocket might be worth way more than you think. And hey, even if you don't find that $1.8 million penny today, who knows? Maybe you'll stumble upon something else valuable. Or, at the very least, you'll have a great story to tell your friends about your hunt for the $1 million penny. Would you believe that a single, ordinary-looking penny could be worth a whopping $1.5 million? I know, it sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood heist movie. But today, I'm talking about the 1973 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Yep, that 1-cent coin you probably have lying around the house somewhere could be worth a fortune. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know why this little guy is so valuable, what to look for, and how you can possibly strike gold, or should I say copper? And trust me, you don't want to miss it if you're into the idea of hunting treasure without a pirate ship. Okay, first things first. Why on earth is this penny worth more than my first car? And actually, that's not even an exaggeration. So let's break it down. The 1973 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is unique because, well, it has no mint mark. Mint marks tell us where coins were made, usually Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But back in 1973, a few coins somehow made it out of the US Mint without any mark. And as it turns out, collectors go absolutely wild for these mistakes. Now, here's where it gets interesting. These aren't just a couple $1,000. No, we're talking 7 figures, folks. The current market value of one of these pennies? Drumroll, about $1.5 million. Imagine going through some old change, finding one of these, and suddenly, boom! Your retirement fund is sorted. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I actually started getting into coin collecting. And honestly, I thought it was just going to be a fun little hobby, something to do on Sunday afternoons. So I'm sitting there, sorting through some coins my grandma gave me, thinking maybe I'll find a nice quarter or two from the 1960s. But now, I'm tearing through every penny jar in the house like I'm Indiana Jones. If only I had known back then that one little slip-up at the mint could be worth more than my entire college tuition. Alright, so now that you're probably eyeing every penny you own, here's the kicker. How do you actually identify one of these gems? Well, besides the obvious no-mint mark, you'll want to pay attention to the condition. If you're lucky enough to have one in mint condition, that's practically brand new, shiny, and with all details intact, then you're looking at a much higher value. Even circulated ones, though, could fetch some cash. So, here's a quick checklist. no mint mark, pristine or very good condition, and ideally, a 1973 production year. If you tick those boxes, you may want to consider getting it appraised by a professional. Seriously, don't just run down to the bank with it. But here's the real fun part. If you start looking around now, you're bound to stumble upon all sorts of fascinating finds. Whether or not you find the elusive 1973 no-mint penny, collecting coins can actually be a really relaxing and rewarding hobby. Plus, you get to say you're investing in pennies, which makes you sound kind of financially savvy, right? Or at least like someone who knows how to stretch a dollar. So, whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just looking for an excuse to dig through your couch cushions, keep your eyes peeled for that no-mint 1973 penny. You never know, you might just be holding a little copper jackpot in your hands. Ever wondered if that penny you tossed in the jar last week could actually be worth more than your car? Or maybe even enough to pay for a vacation home? Well, get ready, because today we're diving into a coin that has people scouring their piggy banks and change jars like treasure hunters. I'm talking about the 1970 60 mint mark Lincoln cent. Yep, that little penny in your pocket might just have a whopping $1 million price tag. Crazy, right? But before you start flipping cushions, let's talk about why this particular penny is blowing everyone's mind and how you might just cash in on one of your own. So first, what's the deal with the 1970 60 penny? Why are people going nuts for it? Here's a quick rundown. The D on the penny means it was minted in Denver, and while most pennies from that year are just pennies, there's this one special unicorn out there that's supposedly worth $1.2 million. That's right. A single copper penny has become a hot-ticket item in the collector's world. Imagine cashing in on something worth, well, 1 cent, and suddenly finding out it's worth more than a Lamborghini. I remember the first time I heard about valuable pennies. I went straight home, dumped out every coin jar in my house, and let me tell you, I was not gentle. It was like treasure hunting meets a home invasion. Did I find the fabled $1 million penny? No. But I did find enough change to buy myself a pretty decent cup of coffee. So if you find yourself hunched over a pile of pennies with a magnifying glass, you're not alone. Now, why is this 1970 60 penny worth so much, you ask? Well, it's all about rarity, condition, and those magical errors that can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Certain coins have errors, tiny quirks in the way they were minted, that can drive up their value to insane levels. Sometimes it's a double strike, a misalignment, or even an accidental use of the wrong metal. And it's these rare features that coin collectors drool over. But if you have a regular old 1970 60 penny, chances are, it's worth a penny. Sorry! So if you're now eyeing your spare change pile suspiciously, here's a quick guide. When it comes to these collectible coins, condition is king. Coins in mint condition, like uncirculated ones or those graded by a professional, tend to fetch the highest prices. And if there's any kind of mint error, hold on tight. But hey, I know not everyone has the time or patience to dig through rolls of pennies. If you do, though, keep an eye out for anything unusual, strange colors, weird misprints, doubled images. These can all be signs you've struck coin gold. At this point, I'm pretty sure half of you are thinking, so I should carry around a magnifying glass now. And the other half are probably plotting a national penny hunt where they drag their friends and family into scouring every couch cushion, car seat, and drawer. But hey, if it means finding a penny worth over $1 million, sounds like a good weekend plan to me. Now I have to be real with you all. Just because one coin sold for a crazy amount doesn't mean every 1970 60 penny is worth the same. Coin prices vary based on demand, condition, and how rare that specific error is. And sometimes there's a bit of hype involved in those massive price tags. It's not every day that a coin like this hits the market, so the $1 million price tag isn't exactly standard, but hey, wouldn't hurt to dream, right? Alright, folks, whether you're a coin enthusiast, a casual collector, or just a person who likes the thrill of a good treasure hunt, the next time you get a handful of change, take a second look. You never know, your next coffee run might just be funded by an old penny that's secretly a jackpot. And if you're as fascinated by coins with big money potential as I am, hit that subscribe button and stick around for more coin tips, rare finds, and all the little secrets that could turn your pocket change into a gold mine. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting! Have you ever checked the bottom of your couch cushions or that random jar of pennies sitting in your kitchen? Well, if you have a 1979 D mint mark penny lying around, you might just be sitting on a hidden fortune worth $1 million. That's right, a single penny could be worth more than your car, your tuition, maybe even your house. So, grab a magnifying glass and let's dive into why this little copper coin could be worth a big pile of cash. Spoiler alert, it's not because it's fancy. It's all about those quirks and rare traits. Alright, let's start with a quick crash course on why certain pennies end up being worth more than the typical cent. The 1979 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, which is why you'll see a little D right below Lincoln's face. Now, most of these were just your everyday pennies, but plot twist, sometimes weird things happen in the minting process. And when they do, coin collectors go wild. So why is this 1979 D penny so special? Well, for one, some of them have errors, and in the coin world errors are like gold. We're talking about things like double die strikes, off-centers, or even those mysterious floating head pennies. Imagine finding a penny where Lincoln looks like he's just hovering. These little quirks make the coin rare, and collectors? They'll pay big bucks for rare stuff. Now I know what you're thinking, how do I know if my penny is worth $1 million? Simple. Take out that magnifying glass. You want to look for details. Check if there's any doubling on Lincoln's face or the text. The crazier the error, the more valuable the coin. Oh, and if you're seeing something that looks like a minting mistake, that's actually a good sign. I was rummaging around in my old change jar, looking for quarters for laundry, and came across this weird penny that looked off-center. I thought, hey, maybe this thing is special. Spoiler, it wasn't. But the more I learned about these quirks, the more fascinated I got. And who knew? It turned into a hobby and a side hustle. Now every time I get a penny back in change, I'm inspecting it like a detective. And back to the $1 million question, can a 1979 D penny actually be worth $1 million? The short answer is, technically yes, but it's rare. A $1 million sale would have to be the ultimate, pristine, error-ridden coin, something you probably won't find unless you hit the jackpot of coin collecting. But pennies with unique errors or extreme rarity are easily selling in the thousands. So even if it's not $1 million, finding one could still make for a very sweet payday. Alright, here's how you can find out if your penny is the chosen one. First, check for doubling on the year or on Lincoln's profile. If you've got that, you're off to a great start. Then, check the D mark. Some pennies have a tilted or filled-in mint mark, which collectors love. The condition matters too. A shiny, well-preserved penny with these traits could fetch a price much higher than a typical one. Imagine scoring a penny worth $10,000 because you didn't let it rattle around in your car cup holder. One of my buddies actually found a penny with a rare error and sold it for over $5,000. Now he's hooked on checking every single penny that comes his way. I think his family thinks he's nuts, but hey, a little obsession never hurt anyone if it's making you cash, right? So, is your 1979 D penny worth $1 million? Probably not, but it could be worth a surprising chunk of change. And even if it's not, looking for these valuable pennies is like a modern-day treasure hunt. You get to learn something cool about history and maybe score some unexpected cash. If you enjoyed this little penny hunt, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. I'm here with tons more tips on coins that are worth more than they seem and smart ways to build a collection. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a tip that could turn your pocket change into a fortune. Thanks for watching, happy hunting, and remember, treasure could be hiding right in your spare change.